There are moments when God allows everything that once made you feel secure to fall apart, not to destroy you, but to finally turn your eyes toward where He always wanted to lead you. The story you're about to hear is about Matthew, an architect who watched his greatest dream collapse in a single day. He thought God had closed his path, but he didn't know that God was opening a completely new one that would change not only his life, but the lives of many others as well. If you felt like doors have been closing lately, this story might be exactly what God wanted you to hear today. Now, open your heart, because this is Matthew's story.
Matthew had been working for months on an architectural project that could finally put him on the national map. But on the morning of the official submission, the main file suddenly corrupted without any explanation. He tried to recover it with cold sweat running down his face, watching the clock move mercilessly forward. When he realized it was impossible to restore, a heavy emptiness formed in his stomach as if something inside him had shattered. He covered his face with his hands, torn between anger and tears, whispering, "Lord, why now?" What he didn't know was that this collapse would become the beginning of the greatest work of his life. When he got home, he dropped onto the couch without even having the strength to take off his shoes. He opened his Bible looking for comfort, but the words seemed powerless against his wound. He read, "My ways are not your ways," and that frustrated him even more. He closed the book and stared at the ceiling, his eyes filled with silent tears. He wondered how something he had prayed for so long could fall apart so suddenly. What he didn't know was that God was clearing space for something he would have never imagined. The next morning, he received a call from a woman who said she had seen one of his old designs. She explained that she led a foundation wanting to build a community center in a vulnerable part of the city. "We need someone with vision, not just technical skill," she said. "We believe you might be that person." Matthew hesitated. This project wasn't glamorous. It didn't bring prestige. It didn't bring money. But something in the way she spoke touched him deeply. It felt as if that call didn't come only from an unknown number. When he arrived in the area, he saw an empty lot full of trash, surrounded by deteriorating buildings. The foundation wanted to create a place that offered support, education, and meals to children and families in need. Every architect before him had rejected the project because it was too complicated and not profitable. Matthew looked down, feeling that professionally none of it made sense. But when he lifted his eyes again, he saw a group of children playing among the rubble, and something inside his heart moved with a strength he couldn't fully understand. That night he locked himself in his studio, staring at his models, diplomas, and awards. Everything in his life seemed to point him toward big, prestigious projects, but his spirit kept bringing back the image of those children playing in ruins. For the first time in a long time, he knelt down to pray from the heart, not from routine. He said, "Lord, if this is from you, give me the courage to say yes." And he felt a peace he hadn't felt even in his greatest accomplishments. Even without knowing how it would be funded, Matthew began working on a design far more ambitious than what they had asked for. He didn't just want to build a center, he wanted to design a refuge, a symbol, a place that healed. Every night he worked late, feeling as if it wasn't him creating, but God inspiring every line. His friends told him he was wasting time, that this project wouldn't pay the bills, but he felt something different, as if every stroke of his pencil was a prayer being drawn. And though he started motivated, a trial was coming, one that would take his breath away. Just when the design was almost finished, the foundation told him the funding had been denied. That meant all his work could end up being for nothing. Matthew felt the world shake beneath his feet. He was facing another collapse. But this time, he chose to do something different. Instead of giving up, he prayed. He asked for direction, for signs, for strength. What he didn't know was that God was about to surprise him even more than the first time. A well-known architect saw Matthew's design by chance in a meeting and asked to speak with him. "This project has soul," he said. "You don't see that every day. Who's funding it?" Matthew, embarrassed, replied, "No one, yet." The man stayed silent for a moment, then said, "Then I will. This deserves to exist." Matthew froze, unable to understand how this was even possible. God was moving pieces he didn't even know were on the board. Construction began, and soon the whole community got involved. Neighbors, volunteers, young people, everyone found a way to help. Matthew became not just the architect, but part of the neighborhood's family. The children ran to hug him whenever they saw him, as if he were a hero without a cape. Every brick laid felt like God whispering, "Do you see why I closed that other door?" And with each passing day, Matthew understood more clearly that he had been guided, not ruined. On opening day, hundreds of people gathered in front of the finished building. The foundation's director took the microphone and said, "This place exists because an architect decided to listen to God's voice." Matthew felt a knot in his throat as he watched families smiling and crying with joy. He realized that no award, no competition, no contract could have filled his soul like that moment. With tears he couldn't hold back, he whispered, "Lord, thank you for redirecting my steps." That day he understood that the project wasn't signed by him. It was signed by God.
Sometimes God takes away something you thought was perfect because he wants to give you what truly belongs to you. Don't be afraid when everything falls apart. Maybe it's God building something greater inside you. If you made it this far and this story touched your heart, comment, "God, redirect my steps toward your purpose." I want to read your comment. Follow me for more stories that strengthen your faith. Like the video if God spoke to you through this story. Share it with someone who desperately needs hope today. Comment your message might brighten someone's entire day.